Hello, this is Shiley from Sheepishly Made. Today I'm going to show you how to needle felt a peacock. We're going to go through step by step. So the first part of the peacock, we're going to do the main body. And for that you need this dark blue, like a sapphire color. And I'm going to take my felting needle. We're going to be starting right in the middle here. And the head of the peacock is almost in the very middle. It's just above the middle, about right here. And I always like to make an outline of where I'm going to be felting first, so I kind of have an idea. So the head shape, now this isn't going to be a super close up and fine detail of the head, but the head is very small and slender. So it's almost like a light bulb shape that you're going to start out with. So a little bit wider at the top, and then to the neck it gets skinnier. And then it goes down. And at the body it fans out. Okay, so we're going to start with the head and then we'll work our way down on the body. And for the head, so peacocks have a beak. So you're going to want to take a little bit of your tan wool and we're going to make the beak. So I'm rolling it between my fingers a little bit just to make it a little bit smaller and finer. And on your head shape, it's going to go on the right side a little bit on an angle. It's going to be in a triangular shape, so you want it to come to a point. The end of the beak should be off of where your head and body shape is a little bit. It's a little hard to see on this background color, but it will pop out as you add in the other colors around it. So we'll start with that, and then you want to do the eyes. So for the eyes, all you need to do is take a little bit of black for the actual eye itself, and then there's white around the eye. You just need a very small piece. The first eye is going to go on the left top corner, near the left top corner of the beak. And so you'll felt in a little bit of this black. And then the right eye is going to be a little bit smaller than the left because the head's turned just slightly, so you won't see as much of that. Now I'll go on the right top corner of the beak. And then we're going to take our dark blue color and I'm going to start putting it around the eyes, and then we'll add the white on top of that, just so you can actually see it. So a little bit of the blue is going to go underneath the eyes, and then it'll go around. And then remember that light bulb shape head of the peacock. So we have to go make the top of the light bulb. I'm going to fill in between the eyes. Alright, now I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to try to grab as close to that head where that wool is as possible so it doesn't stretch. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of white, just a very small piece, and I'm going to add that on the sides and around the top of the left eye. And I am using a finer felting needle for this. This is very small detail. And I don't need the wool to be pushed too far down. And a coarser needle will grab more fibers and push them. And we're going to add a little bit of white to the left side of this right eye. And to catch all these fibers I still have sticking up, I'm swirling my needle around them to grab them and then push them down. I'm going to take a little bit more black to put in the middle and define that eye a little bit better. Sometimes it gets a little muddy when you add the white. especially when you're dealing with such a small area. Okay. I'm going to take the blue and start going down the neck. So remember, you want to do a light bulb shape, so we need to start making it a little bit skinnier. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of the teal color that I have, and I'm going to add that in between the eyes a little bit and around the beak, just a very little bit. A little bit more under this eye so it meets the black. There, that's better. Okay, now I'm going to add the feathers on the top of its head. So I'm going to first take a little bit of brown. Okay, so for the brown, it's going to take small pieces. If you need to cut it into smaller pieces, you can use a pair of scissors, or if you take a very thin piece and fold it on top of each other, that works too. It's going to come out of the top of the head. And just make a thin line of that brown. And do another one like that. These are very close together. From the front you can't really see it, but it kind of is like a fan from the side. Very small one. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the dark, like the sapphire blue, and you just want to make a little ball to make a circle like that, and just put them on top of the brown. They have these funny feathers on the top of their heads. Okay, so that's the main head part. Then we can zoom back out and work our way down on the body. I'm going to peel this up, and I grab right where the wool is that I felted. Just gently pull up. Okay, now we're going to add more to the body. So all you do I'm going to pull it up a little bit. All right, now I'm going to make 2 legs. You won't see all of them, but you'll see a little bit of them. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this tan and just make 2 easy legs. It's a little bit wider at the top, and then it slims down as it goes down. All right, I'm going to lift it up. This time I'm going to grab from the top and pull it there. Okay. So at the top of the legs, part of the body kind of dips down, kind of like on a chicken. And this would, you know, make like the breast of the bird. So I'm going to just add a little bit more of this blue. And dip down and then kind of come up in the middle. And I'll take a little bit of my black to define that a little bit more. Really like an upside down heart. And just put a little black on the bottom to make a bit of a shadow. Then I like to add a little bit of a shadow here and there. So up underneath the head, like right at the top of the neck, I'm going to add a real thin layer of the black. And then I'll take a little bit of just a tiny bit of blue. Very thin layer, so you can still see through to the black. Or you can blend the two together. Whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to blend just a tiny bit of that, the dark blue and the black. There. So that's going to be the main part of the body. And then the next part we'll do is right here. You see there are these feathers. They're smaller feathers. They kind of look like scales that go right behind the peacock's head, and then the big fan will be behind that. They also have like a smaller set that's like a brownish color. The ones up here are more of a green, but the big fan covers up the brown, so we don't really worry about that too much. So we're just gonna make the small fan of these green feathers that look like scales almost. And I'm going to start by taking the black to put as the background color, and then we'll add green on top to make the feathers. Okay, so I'm going to take the black. I'm going to start about right there, and then we'll just angle out a little bit. You don't want to go all the way up to where the head is. This side went a little bit too far. We're going to round it around the top. All right, now that we got the black down, I'm just gonna pull it up. Okay. And then we can add green on top. So I'm gonna take this lighter green color, and this is kind of one of the time-consuming processes. So you take just little bits of green and roll them up into a tiny ball between your fingers, and then grab it with the needle, and you're just going to felt that in. Use your finer needle. Just felt it in lightly, just enough so it's secure. And then you're just going to repeat this process a whole bunch of times until you fill up all the black. And you want to leave little gaps in between. So you can see the black through a little bit, but just small gaps. So we're going to keep doing that until it's all filled up. Just make a whole bunch of little balls, and then you can go and felt them down. So we're gonna fill that all up, and then we'll come back to show you the next step.